Hi, guys. Welcome to our first episode of our new podcast series, Inclusivity First. This is a series where Ankita and I will talk to leaders who have shown a perseverance, an inclination to advocate for diversity and inclusion in the workplace. And for our first episode, we have a very special leader who, in her organization, in the last 5 odd years, has been championing the cause of diversity and inclusion. Hi, Urvashi. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks, Raghav.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for the invitation.
So, Urvashi, the usual format that we have is we ask our guest to give an elevator pitch. तो आप बताओ आप कहाँ से आए हो, what do you do, and all of that.
So, I have around 14 years now in the industry, recruitment industry. I basically belongs to a small place called Allahabad, if you know, that's in Uttar Pradesh. I have completed all my schooling over there.
जी.
And then I did my master's in human resources.
Schooling में क्या पढ़ा है 11th 12th में आपने?
I read science.
Science.
I'm a biology.
Science for HR. Very
I
interesting.
was a biology student. I realized that I have interest in, interacting with people.
जी.
So that motivates me to do a course in human resources,
Right.
which basically allow me to interact with different people every day, understand what they're doing, and it's opportunity for me to support them. So that's grew my interest into human resources, and then I did that. Then I am in recruitment. My first job was of a recruiter, and I started as a.
ऐसी जॉब के बारे में थोड़ा बताओ आप, because first job as a recruiter is usually very high level of stress, target calling, इतनी कॉलें करनी है, ये क्या था वो first job?
So first job, when I say, it was kind of an internship.
अच्छा.
So internship में I did recruitment.
ठीक है.
Plus I'm always very keen to learn new things.
जी.
So मेरा project था recruitment, but in parallel I learned all the laws of HR, like what is PF, what is ESIC, everything about those things, where none of my other friends were interested in knowing that, and it was kind of a very boring at that point of time.
Right.
So I learned all those things, and then I presented this project instead of recruitment in my college, and
Okay.
I won the first prize in human resources. So that was the first instance when I realized that okay, I have a zeal towards this area. During my campus placement, I got an opportunity to work with a small startup company in Delhi. Many of my friends got opportunity in MNCs, especially in recruitments. Big fancy offices, tags, and teams, cabs coming to pick them up, and all those things. I was not getting fascinated to all these things.
Okay.
But this small organization gave me a lot of opportunity to do things from scratch, learn on my own.
क्या role क्या था exactly आपका?
Title wise, it was HR executive. So मेरी responsibilities थी everything related to HR. उनका daily wages, leaves, recruitments, project details, who is coming, who is not coming, everything, tracking of everything. क्योंकि small organization थी, we were about 30 people. So I was responsible.
This was which year?
2008.
So internet was not really there. It was all manual.
Walk-in
interviews.
New thing that time.
Walk-in interviews होते होंगे तब.
Walk-in interviews, and we have to call everybody.
पेपर में इश्तिहार देते होंगे.
नहीं, नौकरी was there.
नौकरी अच्छा, info edge was there.
हाँ, info edge was there. So नौकरी था और वहाँ से कॉल करना है. Basically it was cold calling. No other ways to reach out to candidate. अभी तो हम बहुत privileged हैं with lot of things available in market.
Right.
So उस समय calling करना है every day. You have to make sure that person is interested. सब कुछ decide करके salary, interest, compensation, interview timing. You have to call them. You have to be there in office before the candidate arrives to make sure that candidate experience is good. Though I was not having a manager at that point of time in human resource directly to tell me all these things, I felt that I should be there. That was kind of a self learning I did that time.
Right.
So office में पहले से आके arrange करना है, meeting rooms arrange करना है.
Wow. अब तो Zoom पे कुछ arrange ही नहीं करना है आपको.
कुछ भी नहीं करना है अभी तो बस आना है,
Waiting in the
login कर
waiting
लेना
room,
है.
I must admit.
And when you are ready, then just open the video.
Right.
तो सब arrange करना है, interviews होने हैं और उसके बाद make sure कि candidate को feedback मिल जाए, reject है, select है. So everything I have to pass on. I have to do the compensation discussion. Apart from this, monthly PF files जा रही हैं, ESICs हो रही हैं.
सारा boring काम हो रहा है.
हाँ, register maintain हो रहे हैं, सब कुछ.
You did all of that on your own?
Yes, on my own. And यहाँ पे मुझे बहुत opportunity थी to experiment new things. है ना? कुछ भी चीज़ें start करो experiment से, कोई process. Take an opinion from all engineers and finance people कि वो process कैसे होगा, how we can as an organization we can grow. सो वहाँ पे कोई टीम आउटिंग्स या टीम बिल्डिंग एक्सरसाइज उस समय नहीं थी. इट वॉज अ वेरी फैंसी टर्म. सो आई स्टार्टेड लाइक टीम बिल्डिंग एक्टिविटीज़. सो मुझे मैनेजमेंट को कन्विंस करने में भी कि यहाँ पे हमें इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए. दैट टुक अराउंड 2 months ऑफ टाइम, बट फाइनली वी स्टार्टेड डूइंग दैट एंड एवरीबडी वॉज क्वाइट हैप्पी. रिटेंशन हुए उससे और people were excited to come, or it's like
so your role had moved a bit more from recruitment, right?
yes
Overall HR.
हाँ, overall HR. Because it was a small organization, पूरे साल recruitment नहीं होते थे.
समझ गया.
हाँ,
right.
so monthly में भी 1 or 2 positions हैं, कोई
backfill होती होगी
हाँ,
mainly.
mostly backfill ही होती थी.
हाँ.
I was there for 1 year और उसके बाद फिर eventually I moved to another organization in Delhi itself.
Okay, job कैसे मिली, क्योंकि नौकरी नहीं था, कैसे, how did you apply? I want to understand that. Apply किया आपने या कहीं आप गई, how was that?
LinkedIn तो नहीं था वहाँ पे, बट यू हैव टू नेटवर्क विद पीपल. और नेटवर्किंग के भी बहुत कम ऑप्शंस होते थे. तो you have to know somebody to know somebody else, and then so it was lot of effort. हाँ, उस समय भी कुछ वेबसाइट्स होती थी. I don't exactly remember.
Monster होगा. Monster के ads भी आते थे.
नहीं, जॉब पोर्टल्स नहीं. There were some.
Sulekha.com.
नहीं. There was one website जो HR community की वेबसाइट थी. और people from different HR community was part of it. Like LinkedIn only, but specifically for HR people.
Nice.
So that was only platform to interact. So वहाँ से आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं लोगों को और जॉब अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. So my next switch was to a manufacturing company.
Interesting.
So हम मैन्युफैक्चर करते थे टूल्स और पार्ट्स फॉर HAL और NTPC, those kind of organizations के लिए.
Wow, so exciting.
So वहाँ पे जो मैंने PF और ESIC लर्न किया था, वो मेरा प्लस पॉइंट था एट दैट टाइम. बहुत सारे लोग रिक्रूटमेंट ही करते थे मोस्टली. सो आई वाज एन ओवरऑल पैकेज लाइक कि रिक्रूटमेंट भी कर सकती है और ये सब भी कर सकती है, लॉज भी मेंटेन कर सकती है, एंड शी कैन do it justice through this job.
Right.
I was having a team over there. First time I got a chance to work with a 2-member team. So we were 3 all together. And we were managing all admin and HR. I was mostly doing HR.
That time, sorry to cut you there, HR की seriousness, right, as a domain, as a function, has been very much recognized in the last few years.
Yes.
Last 5-6 years, you are really seeing human capital, the value. That time, 2010ish, what my understanding is, HR was not taken so seriously. मतलब इतनी अब वैल्यू पता लग रही है लोगों की, हाउ क्रिटिकल HR इज. डिड यू एवर फेस दैट ड्यूरिंग द अर्ली पार्ट्स ऑफ योर करियर? हाँ, HR है, ठीक है.
रंगोली मेकिंग कॉपी.
हाँ, आई वांट टू से दैट, आई डिडंट से इट, आई वांट टू से दैट.
वो सब तो जोक्स अपार्ट है, बट मेरे थोड़ा ओपिनियन इस पे डिफरेंट है. बिकॉज यू हैव टू मेक वैल्यूज, यू हैव टू ऐड वैल्यूज इन एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन टू बी वैल्यूड. अगर आप कुछ एक्स्ट्रा नहीं एफर्ट कर रहे हैं या कुछ एक्स्ट्रा ऐड वैल्यू नहीं कर रहे हैं, then nobody is going to recognize you whether you belongs to HR or finance or tech team.
Right.
Until and unless you are bringing something new on the table. So in my second instant, which I was saying that was a manufacturing company, वहाँ पे same था before I went there.
ठीक है.
कि कुछ रिक्रूटमेंट करना है, डायरीज मेंटेन करना है, और मतलब जो भी एड हॉक वर्क होंगे दैट यू हैव टू डू. सो आई स्टार्टेड एंड देन आई गेट अ चांस टू हायर somebody at a deputy manager level.
Okay.
So that give me chance to interact with senior leadership team.
Interesting.
उसके पहले I was in one unit and my boss was a general manager. So he used to head that unit and I was reporting to him. Though he was impressed with my performance and how I interact, because there I had to interact with workers also.
समझ गया.
So क्योंकि workers
blue collar level.
हाँ, blue collar level, जो मशीनरी पे डायरेक्ट काम कर रहे हैं. So first floor was office and ground floor was all machinery. हाँ. So on the first day itself मेरे बॉस ने कहा था don't go to first floor. ठीक है, तो मुझे लगा क्यों, एज एन HR आई शुड मीट एवरीबडी. सो मैं जाती तो नहीं थी, बट आई स्टार्टेड गेटिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन. जो प्यून्स होते थे और जो लोग किसी काम से आते थे, आई यूज्ड टू आस्क देम कैसे हैं, हु इज इन योर फैमिली, सैलरी टाइम पे मिल रहा है, एंड दे गेट हैप्पी विद ऑल दोस कन्वर्सेशंस एंड दे फील कंफर्टेबल. सो आई स्टार्टेड गेटिंग दोस इन्फॉर्मेशन. तो मेरी रेपुटेशन ऑल ओवर बहुत अच्छी थी.
ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, राइट? बिकॉज अब क्या हो गया, लॉट ऑफ पीपल, मेरी बात भी होती है, यंग प्रोफेशनल्स, समटाइम्स दे बिकम टू ट्रांजैक्शनल. आई थिंक ह्यूमन रिसोर्स इज सो क्रिटिकल, यू कैन नेवर बी ट्रांजैक्शनल.
Yes.
You have to be a bit human.
Yes,
right?
yes, definitely. You act as a bridge between, between two pillars. So you have to make sure that you are benefiting both the pillars.
Right.
ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ अपने कंपनी के लिए ही आप benefits gain करोगे और कैंडिडेट्स के लिए कुछ
Right.
नहीं करोगे.
Then they won't trust you.
हाँ, correct. Trust is the main factor. So वहाँ पे वर्क करते करते then I maintain a good reputation, and then as I was telling that I got a chance to work with leadership, senior leadership to hire a senior person. देन इट वॉज ऑल ओवर ईमेल्स. ठीक है, मैंने उन्हें कभी कॉल नहीं किया या मैं कभी फेस टू फेस उनसे नहीं मिली बिकॉज दे वर वेरी सीनियर एंड दे यूज्ड टू सिट इन अ डिफरेंट ऑफिस. तो मैं वहाँ से कैंडिडेट्स को भेज देती थी और कैलेंडर ब्लॉक कर देती थी, ये सब कर देती थी. देन वन डे हेड ऑफ दैट प्लेस केम टू आवर ऑफिस फॉर सम वर्क. And he specifically called out my name that he wanted to meet me.
Nice.
So my boss also got very excited. Why?
Excited, yeah. Threatened.
Whatever he told me, I'm excited. Said why this head of this company wants to meet you. And then he elaborated कि मैंने जिस तरह से collaborate किया और जैसे with very less hassles I conducted these interviews. Many people came and the quality of people, how they were talking और उनका क्या experience रहा. So that's why he wanted to meet me and that was quite motivating for me as well. ऐसे chance मिलने से काफ़ी team members भी आपको थोड़ा reputation high हो जाती है. So I had this incident again in EMC. So I was working to hire a human resource person for the head of human resources in EMC.
Your boss basically.
No, not my boss because I was part of talent acquisition and my boss was heading talent acquisition.
Got it.
But I was hiring an HRBP person.
HRBP.
हाँ.
ठीक है.
So उसमें भी because he was a
So what is HRBP? A lot of people are a bit confused. Can you explain what is HRBP?
हाँ, Human Resource Business Partner. So what exactly their role is? वो चाहते हैं the employees जो है हमारे organization में उनके साथ interact करना whatever support they need. So HRBP can provide that. Plus what kind of growth opportunity we can provide them, learning opportunity. So HRBP becomes a bridge between the senior leadership and employees to maintain that flow of information and needs and performances. So there should be someone in between to make the transparency between both. क्योंकि आप हर बारी all the employees are not very comfortable to talk to senior management directly कि मैं क्या सोचता हूँ या मैं क्या चाहता हूँ. But HRBP becomes a bridge जहाँ पे वो openly बोल सकता है that maybe हम ये process change कर सकते हैं to be more productive और हम ये training कर सकते हैं अपने team members की to make them more productive.
So rewards and recognitions come under this?
Yes, rewards and recognition also comes under this. Okay. So everything related to employee life cycle.
समझिए.
वहाँ पे HRBPs का role काफी extensive होता है. So here also I was having a chance to hire an HRBP. तो मैं यहाँ पर भी head of HRBP से daily interact नहीं कर पाती थी. I was actually in a way of extending my family that time. So मैं उतना ज़्यादा walk करना भी prefer नहीं करती थी. I used to sit and email conversation and everything. Finally at the end we got one buddy selected and offered. And that day that head of HR called my boss, head of talent acquisition, that he wants to meet me. And he just came to my desk and he said that you go meet this person. And I was like, why? Why he wants to meet me? What I did, How come he got to know me? So then I went to the upper floors and met him and he recognized me for, the kind of a smooth flow I did, how I interacted with candidates, what experience candidates shared with him about the all interview process. So that was a good experience.
And then you moved to eBay.
No, eBay was before this.
Okay.
So eBay was a very short instant due to some reasons, because it was establishing their company here in India.
Fair enough.
They were changing their models every time. So it was just 10 months or 9 months or 12
That
months.
was the shortest stint, right?
Yes. I was part of sourcing team and I was one of the sourcer. I used to source for positions across APAC.
Got it.
So it was again a global role interacting with people in Japan, China, Singapore, India as well. And that time only LinkedIn got introduced. We were privileged to have that LinkedIn licensed and explore those. So LinkedIn did an exercise of certifying some of the recruiters as a LinkedIn certified recruiters by conducting some tests with how good these people are in making connections, how their network is, how they're interacting with people and how well they know this tool. So उन्होंने कुछ 150 recruiters select किए from across India और उनको certified किया. That was the first batch and I was one of them.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that was the recognition I got in eBay और वहाँ पे भी काफ़ी exposure था to work at that time, global लोगों के साथ बात करना, उनको source करना, open positions के बारे में बताना. Leadership roles भी थे because they were establishing their organization. So senior managers, directors, tech leaders, बहुत सारे open positions. That was a very good opportunity to work. And then I moved to EMC. I did this and then Xperi.
So now Xperi mein you are lead. You are heading the whole talent acquisition function in APAC.
Yes.
And you started your career as a recruiter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in roughly 10 odd years, from a recruiter, you became the head of talent acquisition. So Urvashi, if you look at your journey, right, you started as a recruiter. And today you are heading the whole talent acquisition function APAC for Xperi, right? And this journey took around 11 years for you to achieve this. A lot of people who are starting as recruiters today want to eventually head that function. Obviously, सबकी aspiration होती है.
Correct.
Now, आपकी journey बहुत fast थी, but it still took you 10 years. So now, what is that one piece of advice you want to give to that 22-year, 23-year, 24-year-old recruiter who's starting their journey in this industry? How do they plan their journey?
So after spending these 14 years in industry, what I think that people who are starting their career, उनको focus करना चाहिए what their passion is. Not कि क्या industry में चल रहा है अभी, what is the trend, how we can grow, what we can do extra. वो सब तो साथ में चलता रहेगा, बट यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट यू आर वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स योर पैशन, क्योंकि उसमें आप डेफिनेटली हैप्पी रहेंगे और डेफिनेटली यू कैन डू समथिंग एक्सेप्शनल.
प्रॉब्लम क्या है, मैं किसी भी टैलेंट एक्विजिशन से बोलता हूँ आई लव टॉकिंग टू पीपल, सो पैशन तो सबका ही वही होता है.
वो तो है डेफिनेटली, क्योंकि अगर आप you don't love talking to people, then you will not be able to talk. And recruitment is all about talking. Other thing what I personally like is the challenges. It's very competitive environment. Now, not only now, earlier as well.
Very political.
Very political. You have to make sure all the stakeholders, part of this hiring process, चाहे वो recruiter हो, candidates हो, hiring panels हो, hiring manager हो, hiring managers manager हो, everybody needs to be satisfied, which is
सबको लेके चलो.
हाँ, सबको लेके तो चलो और वो सब satisfied भी होने चाहिए. If anybody is saying no, then the other person also can change their mind and say no.
Right.
So making everybody satisfied itself is a task.
So you can't be arrogant, basically.
हाँ, correct. You need not to be arrogant because everybody have the same goal to hire somebody.
Right.
और अगर आप same as a team with the right strategies, if you are approaching towards any open positions, you will find the right candidate. And finding the right candidate for the right place is something which is very important. हमें किसी को भी लाके position fill करने पे focus नहीं करना है. We have to make sure we are getting the right person जो इस work को enjoy करेगा, जो हमारे culture में fit होगा और जिसको ग्रोथ अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेंगी.
सो कई लोगों का क्या होता है कि जैसे स्टेप अप ऑन दिस क्वेश्चन, द टारगेट्स आर कितनी कॉल्स हुई, कितने कॉल बैक आए, कितने लोगों से इंटरव्यू शेड्यूल हुआ, एंड फाइनली जॉइनर्स इज द लास्ट थिंग people look at, some of the managers. So, and this happens very routinely, it's nothing new, right?
Yeah.
So let's say a person who's working in such an environment, what is your recommendation to them? Because sometimes they get burnt out.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of their careers, you think they should push themselves harder?
No, I think they should, being a subject matter expert, they are the recruiters.
Right.
And managers, hiring managers are not the recruiters.
जी.
Recruiters are seeing every day कि इंडस्ट्री में क्या हो रहा है और हम कैसे बेस्ट टैलेंट को ला सकते हैं. हमारा फोकस होना चाहिए बेस्ट टैलेंट्स लाना, ना कि नंबर ऑफ पीपल को इंक्लूड करना. सो एज अ टीम ऑफ हायरिंग मैनेजर एंड रिक्रूटर यू हैव टू मेक ए स्ट्रैटेजी.
Right.
Not on numbers, but on the skills, on the competitive things what we are looking forward in a candidate. क्या चीजें particularly चाहिए, कौन सी चीजों पे compromise कर सकते हैं. You have to make sure we have a right balance, क्योंकि we cannot get somebody who is coming with all the 10 skills what we are looking forward.
Right.
और most of the time हम अपनी job description को over ambitious ही रखते हैं,
right.
which is not possible. So हमें एक balance पे आना है hiring managers के साथ as a team. That is the first step. अगर हमारी वहाँ पे टीम करेक्ट बैलेंस पे बैठ गई है रिक्रूटर और हायरिंग मैनेजर के, देन इट्स वेरी इजी टू फाइंड आउट समबडी, क्योंकि हमारे थॉट्स क्लियर है व्हाट वी वांट और उसी हिसाब से इंटरव्यूज होंगे. वी हैव टू मेक श्योर पैनल्स आर आल्सो अवेयर कि उनको क्या बातें करनी है इंटरव्यू में, व्हाट क्वेश्चंस व्हाट एरियाज दे नीड टू टच अपॉन. ऐसा नहीं है कि बस पैनल है और जाके जो भी मनाया पूछ लिया. सो इट शुड बी रिलेटेड टू जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन एंड फीडबैक्स आल्सो नीड्स टू बी डीब्रीफ्ड along with all panels and hiring manager to make sure that we all are making right decision.
Right.
Though our intentions are to make right decision, but kabhi kabar unconsciously you do some biasness. So just to avoid those things, हमेशा ही आपको debrief करने हैं feedbacks and make a right decision for candidate. Then you need not to pump up the pipeline with lot of interviews. Maybe maximum of about 7 to 8 candidates to satisfy the hiring team should be enough.
Perfect. So taking this cue from the bias, the word you said, right? Now let's get to our next segment about diversity and inclusion. I'll just ask one question. What is diversity? What is inclusion? And why is there such a big need to have that in the workplace?
So diversity for me is, getting along with everybody. So we have different kind of people in market, different kind of talent available in market.
Right.
If we talk from the hiring perspective, so हमें उस talent को, why we have to leave them, untapped? Why we are only focusing on one segment of people? So diversity is something where we should expand our pool of talent. We should thrive for right talent other than anything else. We should not focus on their genders, their backgrounds, or many other criterias. We have to look forward who is getting the right skills and who has passion to work on these technologies, who have passion to grow further in this area. So we have to look for those talents. That's diversity for me. Inclusivity, definitely, in a single word, I always say that it's acceptance. So acceptance is something everybody needs to start practicing.
Right. Makes sense.
Finally, my time came. I was listening to you both. Great session. First of all, letting the audience know Urvashi is my manager, and sitting here, I feel so proud of her journey. मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा आपने अपने लाइफ में किया to come here. You totally deserve it. तो अभी जैसे हम लोग को साथ में काम करते थोड़ा टाइम हो गया है. अभी मेरा टाइम है आपका इंटरव्यू लेने का. आपने मेरे साथ जो किया है वो I will take it back. तो आपको क्या लगता है कि कंपनीज को प्राइड मंथ को एज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी देखना कैसे चाहिए और उनको क्या करना चाहिए उस मंथ
प्राइड मंथ की डेट भी बता दो.
हाँ, जून इज द प्राइड मंथ दैट वी सेलिब्रेट वर्ल्ड वाइड ना, जहाँ पे कंपनीज को क्या करना चाहिए इस मंथ में कि वो inclusivity प्रोवाइड कर सके LGBTQ कम्युनिटी के लिए.
So Pride Month is definitely very special month, or it has lot of opportunity for corporates. So they can show encouragement to acceptance, encouragement to diversity. They can showcase, और whatever corporates are doing, वो काफी ज़्यादा impactful होगा for all the communities. So basically what as an organization, what everybody can do, बहुत सारा काम हुआ है already. We are seeing that changes are happening, but there is a need of doing so many things. There is still so much of gap in US and other part of the globe. We can start sensitizing our employees. हम उनके लिए sessions curate कर सकते हैं. We can call up people for a panel discussion or a speaker session. We can actually call up somebody from the Pride community itself to share their stories and share their living experiences. That gives a lot of understanding. Though people are opening up, I think सबको उतनी understanding awareness नहीं है, which corporate can help in spreading. So वो awareness कर सकते हैं. They can promote internally by using some social Zoom backgrounds, because Zoom is
very interesting, good idea.
Use आजकल everybody is on Zoom और Google Meets. उसके बिना काम नहीं हो रहा है. So backgrounds can be customized with pride colors. Xperi always used to do rallies in US during the Pride Month.
Really?
And yes, and we do promote. We have our ERG for LGBTQ community, and the best part is we change our logo design with pride colors during that month.
We also did that.
Good.
But हमने rallies नहीं.
So we do that in US, not in India. But yeah, with Ankita definitely we'll be doing something this year here to spread awareness. So those are some of the things corporates can start working on to spreading awareness.
तो आपको क्या लगता है कि मतलब जब एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लोगो चेंज करते हैं, हमने देखा है इंडस्ट्री में कि कॉर्पोरेट लोगो चेंज करती है, बट वो लोग उनके डीपर एस्पेक्ट में नहीं घुसते. जैसे एक लोगो हो गया, पिंक वॉश हो गया कि हाँ हम आपको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, उसके बाद आपकी पॉलिसीज वहीं पे स्टैंड करती है. तो व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन ऑन दैट?
दैट इज वेरी ट्रू. सारी कंपनीज आर वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स DNI, लेकिन सभी शॉर्टर टर्म गोल को ही फुलफिल करने की
ब्रांडिंग में चले जाते हैं.
करेक्ट. देयर मेन फोकस इज टू डू 30% 40% डाइवर्स हायरिंग, रिटेंशन कर लो, हमारे ब्रांड लोगो कहीं पे पब्लिक फोरम में पब्लिश हो जाए. सो दोज आर वेरी शॉर्ट टर्म गोल्स. Rather, we have to start, why I say that sensitizing employees, because we want to live those values.
Right.
Correct. When somebody from those communities are entering our office, they should have that feeling. That,
acceptance.
Yeah, acceptance hai, inclusivity hai. That will only come after, when we have more and more awareness, when we have more and more knowledge about this.
तो आपको क्या लगता है, जैसे आपने बोला कि आपने अपना करियर 2008 में स्टार्ट किया था, आपको क्या लगता है लास्ट 10 to जो भी जितने साल हुए हैं उसमें डाइवर्सिटी टैलेंट में कैसे इवॉल्व हुआ कि वी आर हायरिंग मोर वुमेन रिटर्नी, वेटरन्स, LGBT? व्हाट वाज योर जर्नी एंड थॉट्स ऑन हाउ वी इवॉल्व्ड आवर DNI जर्नी इन इंडिया?
सो पहले क्या होता था, इट यूज्ड टू बी अ वंस इन अ ईयर कैंपेन. सो वहाँ पे कभी हमने PWD का कैंपेन कर लिया, कभी वुमेन रिटर्नी का कर लिया. सो But now it's throughout the year our focus is to hire diversity or promote diversity and inclusion. हम अपनी cultural values में भी we are promoting this कि we are a diverse company and all these things. So firstly there was not many women who used to be hired. एक बारी break ले लिया then it's very difficult for them to come back. Not many people are interested thinking that उनका काफ़ी गैप हो गया है. They have been in without touch with technology. उनकी अभी इतनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं है.
ये अभी prevalent है थोड़ा बहुत.
अभी भी है थोड़ा बहुत, लेकिन there are many organizations who are working towards to fill this gap.
Right.
पहले उस तरह की organizations ही नहीं होती थी और बहुत कम होती होंगी. It was not promoted properly. So अगर gap ले लिया then returning back is very difficult. या तो आपके बहुत अच्छे networks हों और you do some crash course before applying for interviews. उस तरह के efforts देने पड़ते थे वो.
Right.
And somebody is returning from a maternity break or taking care of some elderly. उस तरह के ब्रेक लेने के बाद डूइंग दिस क्रैश कोर्स एंड देन अप्लाइंग लाइक अ फ्रेशर और उनको जूनियर लेवल पे कंसीडर कर रहे हैं बिकॉज दे हैव टू स्पेंड टाइम इन ट्रेनिंग. वो सारे बायसनेस बहुत ज़्यादा होते थे.
राइट.
PWD में भी if we talk, people were not able to walk through the office. सारे ऑफिस इतने inclusive नहीं होते थे where they can access everything. अभी तो it's very thought through when we are designing the workplaces so that everybody can access. So these are the changes we are seeing. LGBTQ के बारे में तो उस समय I don't think many people were हाँ correct discussions भी नहीं होती थी. Main focus was on women as if we talk about diversity. Abhi bhi main focus is on women, but at least people have started talking about other underrepresented communities.
Is it because of pop culture? Because जैसे इंडिया में Netflix, मैं थोड़ा I'm just trying to understand it. This normalized a lot of things. उससे पहले हमारा मीडिया जो था, it was in a very different manner. So आपको लगता है पॉप कल्चर ने भी रोल प्ले किया इसके अंदर?
डेफिनेटली सिनेमास ने बहुत अच्छा रोल प्ले किया है बिकॉज पहले कुछ विजिबल प्रॉब्लम्स थी लाइक अगर हम बात करें LGBTQ कम्युनिटी की सो उनको कभी फैमिली से बैक आउट कर दिया, एजुकेशन प्रॉपरली नहीं मिल रही है एंड अदर फोर्सफुल थिंग्स हैपनिंग इन देयर लाइफ. सो वो सब बहुत नोन प्रॉब्लम्स थी दो देयर वाज नॉट मेनी पीपल वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स टू सॉल्व दिस. लेकिन इंडियन पॉप ये सिनेमास ने क्या किया है, दे आर ब्रिंगिंग अप अदर issues like mental health of people coming from these communities, accepting themselves, understanding that they are belonging to a pride community and then accepting themselves and then seeking acceptance from their own families, own friends, people around them itself is a very mental trauma.
Right.
और उस एज में जब people have to think about their career, आगे क्या करेंगे, क्या पढ़ाई करेंगे, कैसे करियर ग्रो करेंगे, उस टाइम पे वो बच्चे उस मेंटल ट्रॉमा से जाते हैं.
Right.
Which is very very difficult. और वो लार्ज पॉपुलेशन है हमारे इंडिया की. अगर वो उस मेंटल ट्रॉमा से जा रही है और अपने करियर पे फोकस नहीं कर पा रही है देन इट्स क्रिएटिंग अ वेरी बिग गैप. सो इंडियन सिनेमा ने आई थिंक ये सारी चीजें बहुत ज्यादा हाईलाइट की हैं जो लोग सुनते नहीं थे. आई एम एक्चुअली गेटिंग गूज़बम्प्स व्हाइल टॉकिंग दिस.
एक्चुअली अगर आप देखा जाए तो ये जो इंडियन सिनेमा भी आया था वो भी डिक्रिमिनलाइजेशन के बाद ज़्यादा बड़ा था. देवर सो मेनी मूवीज विच आर बैंड.
कब वो थी एग्जैक्टली?
2018 सितंबर में. तो उसके पहले तो मूवीज बैन हो जाती थी. मतलब वो तो वॉइस भी बाहर नहीं जाती थी. तो आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट यू आर सेइंग कि उस टाइम तो कोई बात भी नहीं करता था. आई थिंक 2018 के बाद हम ज़्यादा बात करने लगे हैं. तो एक और चीज़ थी कि अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में हम लोग स्पेशल मैरिज एक्ट के लिए भी हम लोगों ने पुश किया है कि सेम सेक्स मैरिजेस शुड बी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड. ट्रांस राइट्स आ रहे हैं बट राइट्स तो आते रहेंगे. सबसे पहले बड़ी चीज़ इंक्लूजन की होती है कि हम उनको अपना फील करवाएं. जैसे अभी भी यूएस में सारे राइट्स हैं बट फिर भी क्वेयर कम्युनिटी स्ट्रगलिंग, क्वेयर हेट है,
कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आ पाता.
क्लब्स में फायरिंग हो रही है क्योंकि होमोफोबिया फैल रहा है. तो तब मेरे को तो यही लगता है कि लॉस तो आते रहे बट हमें एक ऐसे एनवायरनमेंट सराउंडिंग बनानी चाहिए जहाँ पे सबको अच्छा फील हो. आई अग्री टू व्हाट यू सेड. बट एक फॉलोअप क्वेश्चन था. जैसे अभी मैं एक LGBTQ कम्युनिटी के टैलेंट हूँ. फॉर मी आई विल नॉट वर्क फॉर अ कंपनी जहाँ पे वो मेरे को दिख गया कि वो कंपनी ने कभी हमारे लिए कुछ किया नहीं या फिर वो कंपनी ने हमारे लिए कुछ स्टैंड नहीं लिया, प्राइड नहीं किया, कुछ नहीं किया. तो मेरे लिए एम्प्लॉयर ब्रांडिंग सबसे मेन है. आपको क्या लगता है कि एम्प्लॉयर ब्रांडिंग कैसा रोल प्ले करती है किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए कि वो डाइवर्स टैलेंट हायर कर पाए और वो क्या क्या कर सकती है लाइक एजुकेटिंग ऑल आवर TA लीडर्स हियर, वो क्या क्या कर सकती है एम्प्लॉय ब्रांडिंग के लिए कि ब्रांड आगे जाए?
डाइवर्स टैलेंट क्या चाहते हैं? वो सिर्फ कॉम्पनसेशन नहीं चाहते हैं. दे वांट कल्चर, दे वांट एक्सेप्टेंस, दे वांट अपॉर्चुनिटी टू ग्रो, लर्न. सो हमें वाइल hiring somebody from underrepresented communities, हमें अप्रोच थोड़ा डिफरेंट लेना होगा. We have to look for a person who is keen to learn. मे बी अभी उसके पास पूरी स्किल्स नहीं है, बट वी हैव टू सी कि उसमें पोटेंशियल है.
But you're open for that.
Yes, we are open. और एक्सपेरी में we have policies like insurance policies for same sex partners. We have mental health support
Very
program
nice.
especially for queer people. So we as an organization are very supportive and very open, and
You know why I joined now?
so we have secretive policy. If somebody wants to keep their identity secret, we do that, and if somebody is opening up, we are very happy to accept them. So हमारा culture वैसा ही है, and why it is because we are living our values. It's not only कि कहीं पे लिखी हुई हैं वो 4 values और somebody just
This is important, right?
Yes. Values को live करना है, और live करने का यही तरीका है, you have to sensitize your employees. हमेशा उनको not only once, हमेशा time to time.
तो कब से कर रहे हो आप लोग?
I think US में तो it's like happening since ever. और
इंडिया में?
India में भी it's happening from last 4-5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we are sensitizing our
Amazing.
employees.
So tell me one thing, right? Initially जब आपने start किया this whole exercise, कुछ ना कुछ जगह से pushback आया होगा. वो बड़ा natural है, right? मतलब कुछ 1-2 लोगों ने भी बोला, हजारों में से, whatever, right? So is that something that should stop? Because I talk to a lot of TA leaders, right? Or a lot of HR folks. They tell me कि internal pushback आता है कई लोग, मतलब कुछ power centers से. So do you think is that something that is prevalent in the market?
If I talk about experience,
No, not experience, generally. Experience.
Generally, so definitely there is a pushback, and there is different reasons. Maybe people are not resistant, लेकिन उनके भी अपने कुछ reasons हैं to push back. कुछ भी हो सकता है. So that is a tendency, but we should not stop, and we always should not seek an opportunity as an employer or as a corporate to do something. You can do something at your
Personally
own level,
also, right.
correct? You being into TA have connections with many people.
Definitely.
If you just post something on your LinkedIn page promoting this or educating people about these topics, it is enough.
You do a lot of that, right?
Yes,
see that.
I do a lot of that.
right.
वहाँ से ही आप spread कर सकते हो awareness, and nobody can stop it. You have to live this allyship 24/7. सिर्फ क्योंकि आप टीए लीडर हैं उसलिए अगर आप कर रहे हैं then it is not going to make you happy.
So आपकी एक स्टेटमेंट थी, let us place talent before gender.
Yes.
इसका मतलब क्या है?
In my career, I have seen many examples, but मैं बात करूँगी 2 scenarios की, which हम लोग सारे लोग relate कर सकते हैं.
जी.
So why I said that? Because I felt that I myself is coming from a community of women, and I have felt those discriminations. I have seen many other women going through discriminations. So first scenario is very common. You see biasness in hiring manager in hiring some newly married girl.
अच्छा.
हाँ.
Yeah.
That's very common.
Because they go for maternity leave.
Really?
Yeah.
I was
This
not
is
aware.
pre-assumed.
Wow.
ठीक है कि अभी शादी हुई है, 1
Yeah.
साल बाद they will extend their family और वो छुट्टी पे जाएगी. That will be a cost to company.
Oh, okay.
that is
Very
the
interesting.
अभी भी है ऐसी biasness, but it is much lesser than earlier.
Okay.
पर पहले तो न्यूली वेडेड को भी बहुत स्ट्रगल करने पड़ते थे टू गेट अ गुड जॉब. वेयर एज इफ यू सी अ बॉय हु इज न्यूली वेडेड, उसको बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेंगी बिकॉज ही इज उसको कहा जाएगा ही इज मैरिड, ही इज सेटल्ड, ही इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर हिज फैमिली, सो ही विल डेफिनेटली वर्क. सो दैट इज दोनों सेम टैलेंट हैं, दोनों सेम एजुकेशन है, स्टिल देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. सेकेंड सिनेरियो, व्हेन यू ऑलरेडी इन एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, if you are performing well, you are getting good incentives, you are getting promotions, you are getting appraised by your leaders, then also you will be judged, saying that because this person is from a diverse company, she has this advantage, because the leadership want to fill their positions with diversity. So उस समय भी आपको discriminate किया जाएगा, instead of checking what you did in the last 1 year or 2 years, what kind of a quality of work you are doing. वो सब मैटर नहीं करता है.
लोग ओपनली तो नहीं बोलेंगे ना.
ओपनली नहीं बोलते हैं, बट यू गेट टू नो.
You get to know. You get a feeling.
You feel
इतना
that,
ओपन होता है कि आपके कानों में आ जाए.
तो एक दोस्त तो बता ही देगा कि मैं नाम नहीं लूंगा, बट
true.
कह रहा था ऐसा.
True. And I have heard those conversations. I have heard those statements.
Fair enough.
I really love this conversation. Like Urvashi, thank you so much for sharing so many values, so much of knowledge to people. So the main question that I have is that सब diversity hiring करना चाहते हैं, but how you can make diversity hiring successful? मतलब literally you are hiring people. How a company can do that?
I would like to point down some of the topics. जैसे फर्स्टली आपको ओवर एम्बिशियस जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन नहीं बनाने हैं. यू हैव टू यूज द राइट लैंग्वेज इन द जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन, और उसमें वही स्किल्स लिखनी है या रियलिस्टिक स्किल्स लिखनी है विच पीपल इन द इंडस्ट्री हैव.
Right.
दैट मोटिवेट्स पीपल टू अप्लाई. अगर आप उसमें बहुत कह दोगे आई वांट अ टेक निंजा और आई वांट अ सुपर हीरो, यू नो, सो ऑलरेडी डाइवर्स कम्युनिटी विल नॉट अप्लाई एट ऑल, क्योंकि उससे एम्बिशन बहुत ज़्यादा है. और यू नो देयर आर डिफरेंट रीजंस व्हाई पीपल फ्रॉम डाइवर्स कम्युनिटीज will hesitate to apply for this. Right. Secondly, you have to make sure your hiring panels are diverse. You definitely should have one, you know, woman or a person with disability or a person with LGBTQ community. जो भी आपकी companies में available हैं, that should be part of your hiring to understand the candidates well.
Very interesting.
Because they are living those, you know, challenges every day, and they can understand and relate better and justify you. Every time while debriefing the feedbacks, those people from diverse background can give you different perspective at all about the candidate,
Definitely.
which convince the other people. Otherwise, जो उन challenges को live नहीं कर रहा है,
वही समझ पाएंगे ना, वही जो करता है
वही समझ पाते हैं. And then we have to, you know, as an employer branding हमें अपनी करनी है, like we are a very diverse company or inclusivity, because we are living that. जब हम मिलेंगे candidate से, they can feel that. It's not, I always insist, you know, सिर्फ लिखने के लिए नहीं करना, you have to live that. Then only you can make sure that people are understanding. When you add this as a purpose of your life, तब हम उसको live कर सकते हैं और हम justify कर सकते हैं. Calling ourselves as an ally is, you know, is something very important. You have to make sure that the community you are trying to support, they should not get hesitate, you know, in reaching out to you.
Very true.
उनको फ्रीडम होनी चाहिए, उनको ट्रस्ट होना चाहिए दैट दिस पर्सन इज, यू नो, समहाउ शी और ही विल ट्राई टू हेल्प यू आउट. So these 3 pointers I think will be definitely helping in making the smoother hiring process for diverse community.
तो उर्वशी, एक क्वेश्चन था कि अगर एक कंपनी डाइवर्सिटी एंड इंक्लूजन प्रैक्टिस नहीं करती है तो व्हाट आर द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस?
See, diversity and inclusion opens many doors for a company. Like talent pool बढ़ जाता है, हमारे एम्प्लॉयज़ जो डाइवर्स बैकग्राउंड से आ रहे हैं ऑटोमेटिकली दे फील हैप्पी, उनकी प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ जाती है, रिटेंशन अच्छा होता है. इफ़ वी आर नॉट अ डाइवर्स, यू नो, कंपनी, इफ़ वी आर नॉट एम्ब्रेसिंग डाइवर्सिटी एंड इंक्लूजन, देन इट्स एन इनडायरेक्ट कॉस्ट टू द कंपनी. ओके, क्योंकि बहुत सारे डोर्स हम क्लोज कर रहे हैं, खुद ही क्लोज कर रहे हैं वो डोर्स. सो we have to make sure that if we want to be in the league of this, you know, challenge or you know, this competition, we have to accept that we have to live, not accept. We have to make sure that we are living the inclusive culture.
True. So, Urvashi, one last question. How do you see diversity and inclusion play a role in the workplace in the next 5 years? Right now, it is something a lot of people talk about. Not everyone is able to practice it. Do you think in the next 5 years, particularly in India, we will see this becoming a big cause that people will work on?
Yes, definitely. अभी भी हम देखते हैं बहुत सारे कंपनीज बेबी स्टेप्स ले रहे हैं. They are getting influenced with, you know, western companies, और वो practices लेके आ रहे हैं इंडिया में, which is slowly कुछ changes ला रहे हैं सोसाइटी में. And we don't have to work as, you know, corporate. We have to work as a team of corporates to make some changes in the society.
Very true.
और हम जब diversity और inclusion को live करेंगे, we will keep sensitizing our employees. Right. Eventually उनकी families, extended families, everybody get influenced with that. और वो change लाएगा society में. हम सिर्फ ये नहीं कह सकते कि Xperi, we are very inclusive. We don't care about other companies. So when we, as a leader of our company, are living those values, we will be interacting with others, leaders in the industry, sharing knowledge, you know, meeting them in different forums, exchanging information. You know, that is something very important to bring these changes in the society. और next 5 years में definitely we will see some changes, and which is going to be fruitful for everybody.
More collaboration. It was really nice talking to you, Urvashi. Raghav, thanks for curating this and getting this knowledge out of Urvashi. You will definitely use it for spreading the word. Urvashi ने एक point बहुत important बोला है. जब आप एक इंसान का support करते हो in terms of inclusivity, जो diverse background से, वो आप उनके indirectly family को भी impact करते हो. आप उनकी भी life change कर रहे होते हो. मैंने एक event attend किया था जहाँ पे मुझे पता चला कि भले world की 15% population is having any sort of disability, but उनके family जो उन पे वो dependent है, उनकी भी life impact होती है ना. तो आज अगर हम एक स्टेप लेते हैं फॉर इंक्लूजन एंड डाइवर्सिटी, लेट्स कम टुगेदर, collaborate, learn and spread more and more awareness and create a safe space for everyone. Thank you so much for coming, Urvashi.
Thank you, Urvashi.
Thank you, Raghav. Thank you, Ankita.
Lovely speaking to you.
Same here.
Thank you.